Everybody in New York talks about authenticity, but 18 East doesn't have to because they lived it. A brand born with a natural world was built with skate and outdoor roots. Antonio Ciongoli built it out of frustration from the old menswear system. He worked for Ralph Lauren. He left all of that behind for 18 East, which Instagram page you see on the screen now. And this brand was launched in 2018, mixing handcraft with skatewear, baggy cargos, and fill jackets. 18 East finally found their own lane. It's clothes that fit into your lifestyle when you ride, hike, or walk through the city. Their model of selling is like most of you who are founders. A direct-to-consumer, a piece of scarcity, some press pickup but no mass scaling at large. Let's take a look at their bio, because this is where you usually could tell what a brand stands for. Handmade gear for enjoying the natural world reads the first line. They're positioning themselves as a lifestyle brand that merges craftsmanship, movement, and nature. They don't want to fit themselves in a genre or a box that's named streetwear. This tells you exactly where they stand. Then right below that, you see two addresses: 146 Elizabeth Street in New York City and 3019 Rowena Avenue in Los Angeles. That's East Coast and West Coast energy side by side. They're letting you know that New York represents their roots in skate and concrete jungle culture, while LA symbolizes calm, nature, and an outdoor world they designed for. And finally, the website link 18east.co, which is the call to action that everyone should have on their social media platforms. That's where all the drops, products, and history of the brand and movement is organized in their own digital real estate, aka their own world. So from this small display, you can already read their entire mindset, as it is simply seen: craft, nature, and community. Let's talk about their community, because if you really want to understand a brand, never look at their captions. The comments will always tell you the post of a brand's community. Look at this post right here. You got a community made up of skaters, designers, and photographers who actually live the life this brand and post represents. Comments like "next level," "the second photo looks straight out of a 90s skate mag," "no sliders Debo." This is language rooted in people who love this type of culture and lifestyle, recognizing the craft of the sport. You got people like @PriceyHot getting tagged, praised, and respected. This is community acknowledgement. Everyone in that comment section knows each other, and you can tell this is a genuine group of interaction reacting to a brand that they believe in. You can feel that shared history between the names and the people inside the comment section. When you scroll through the comments on this post right here, as you see on the screen, it feels less like an Instagram drop and more like a group chatting during a championship game. Somebody's yelling, "Chords out in 30 seconds." Another person replies, "W on everything I wanted. Prayers up emoji." And right below that, someone else drops, "God damn, it sucks to be broke." You can feel the chaos, people celebrating, complaining, joking. This is the type of energy that every brand needs, and it's the indication of how healthy your brand movement is at this very moment. 18 East drops turn the comment section into an arena. Everyone's reacting, trying to prove that they made it in. What made this powerful was how personal it feels. These aren't bots spamming their comment section with fire emojis, because I can say there's big brands out here that we all know that actually have bots commenting on their posts just to make their brands look active. Look, most streetwear brands don't fail because of weak designs. They fail because nobody's actually talking about them. You might have 10, 20, even 30,000 followers on Instagram, but if nobody's mentioning you outside your city, you're stuck. And that's the real problem. Followers don't equal respect. You can have numbers and still feel invisible. And this is why we help streetwear brands go from being local favorites to being known outside the city. This service is built for the brands that are tired of being slept on, the ones ready to get their name moving, talked about, and recognized beyond their block. If your brand already holds weight at home, but you're ready to be talked about outside your city, this is your shot. Sign up for our community strategy service to get your brand specifically positioned into another region. Hit the link in the description below, because we only work with 4 brands per quarter. To get back to the video, the people here that I'm showing you on their posts actually care. One dude brags, "Finally got a go record, been waiting forever." Another person flexes their colorway. That duck brown just straight chef's kiss. And then you've got Marcel, still waiting for his moment, writing, "Forgot to snag a piece, now I cry." That contrast right there, the joy, frustration, pride, and heartbreak. It's the definition of community. When your audience feels something even when they didn't buy it, that's when you know you've built a brand with gravity. But buried in the hype are clues about trust too. As you see, someone said, "I got charged but didn't get a confirmation email." Then another person also commented, "Emailed you guys about canceling an order." 18 East should have responded to this, and that's the flip side of demand as well. When things are selling too fast, sometimes you may not have a grip of it and the system could actually break. But notice something, nobody's threatening refunds or leaving hate comments. They're talking to the brand like it's a person. They know someone's on the other side reading it. That's a level of connection most brands would kill for. And then there's this curiosity, the quiet kind that most people overlook. When we scroll to the bottom section of the comments, you can see the first comment that says, "What's pictured in the hoodie above Unite?" That's not small talk. That's someone wanting to understand the meaning behind the design. 18 East didn't even have to explain it. The mystery built engagement for them. When your visuals carry stories, your comments start doing your marketing for you. So when you really look at it, this comment section isn't just feedback, it's proof of 18 East's ecosystem. You've got excitement, trust, confusion, curiosity, and pride all inside 2 comment sections for their post that I just showed you. This was a great indication that this brand was jumping. These type of interactions and emotion from other people will never be able to be replicated if you buy ads or pay for influencers to rep your brand. If you could grow your brand organically and avoid these 2 growth hacks, your audience will turn into your cosigns, and this is actually the best case scenario. 18 East didn't have followers. Again, they had community. What I was showing you guys was back in 2020 to 2022. Every post that they had felt alive. People showed up in the comment sections to celebrate, debate, and connect. You'd see familiar names pop up every drop here and there. It wasn't just customers, it was people who believed in their message. As we move over to the production for 18 East content creation, we're trying to see whether they do low production or high production when creating their content for their brand. And you can tell that they don't rely on cinematic setups or heavy editing. Yet their visuals still look elite. Because for them, it's not about how expensive the shoot looks. It's about how intentional and relatable it feels in this natural world that they embrace. Take a look at this post. The Nasir for 18 East and A6 campaign was shot in black and white. It's only Nasir on a New York sidewalk, tying the shoes, cutting through the street. But if you really just focus on it, it's not random. I want to make the difference between low production and lazy production. They didn't need soft boxes or fancy lighting to sell it. Even in the crouch shot is dead center in the street headlights glowing behind them. This is human energy, perspective, and high-end execution in a low production frame. This is how 18 East keeps control of the image without killing its soul. They know their audience doesn't want perfection, but more of truth with texture. They want to feel the sidewalk, not the set. The photos look like they could have been shot by a friend, but when you study them, the composition is too precise to be random. For this next photo I'm showing you, you gotta realize 18 East didn't just live in the city. The camp store visual shows this. This guy sitting in Lakeside in a red rugby shirt, hat turned backwards, the 18 East logo stitched into the back of his chair. This setup looks nothing like the street photos we just saw, but it's still the same philosophy. The difference is the mood, not the method. The shot feels peaceful and cinematic, but there's no overproduction hiding behind it. It's natural light, a soft horizon, and a real lake. It's a lifestyle photo that feels like someone actually lives the moment and not a brand trying to recreate it. They can move from concrete to a lake without changing their core identity. It's still low production, one camera, a subject, and a feeling, but the quality control makes it look expensive. Again, going back to their DNA, they make handmade gear for enjoying the natural world. It's more of a worldview. When you see this, you don't just think about buying clothes. You imagine a slower life, a world with less noise. Great brand imagery should create this feeling, planting emotion before transaction even happen or occur. Now if we move on to the product photography, which is the post you see on your screen, everything shot on a clean white background. They stripped everything down until the only thing left was the actual craft itself. The texture on those olive pants, the stitching patterns, the way the material folds, all of this tells a story without needing a single caption. If you guys could see all the shadows for each of these shots, it falls into the same direction, which is pretty interesting. The garments are laid flat, no wrinkles or over styling. It feels more like an art catalog than a clothing brand that's shot for products to be on Instagram. When you scroll through their page, every flat lay connects with the same tone, backdrop, and energy. This is building visual trust inside your consciousness. You instantly know it's 18 East before reading the captions because your mind programs you to think about the brand when you see the image. This is a great way to create brand memory through visual rhythm. As we continue to the next post, and this is one of their more earlier posts, you can see a raw VX style skate footage in New York City. No color grading or stabilizer. You see this grainy footage and lens distortion. This is the whole point. The video didn't need to be polished. The authenticity is the production. It's a style that speaks directly to their core audience, which is the skaters that's about this lifestyle. It's like a metaphor for them saying, we don't have to stage a world we actually live in. And I think this is a dope way to truly go about branding. With this next post, these shots again have sit right in the middle of low production setup with high production outcome. The photographer caught real moments of skaters in mid-air. It's storytelling through stills. The tones are warm because they want to give you that LA type of vibe, film-like, almost nostalgic, but nothing about this is fake. This is 18 East sweet spot. They use real environments as their studio. No glossy edits, just culture captured clean. As you see with all these shots I'm showing you, they're super relatable from the location to the models wearing the product. I love this type of energy because you can actually see yourself wearing it. And at the end of the day, it's all about relatability. After looking at all of these, there's a rhythm behind every piece of content they make. A simple 3-step formula, which is capturing real moments, creating a simple setup, and always feelings first. For real moments, every photo reel or product photography has to start with something that they're actually passionate about and they can see themselves wearing or their community wearing, or a type of action they do inside their lifestyles. It could be a person you actually know or a place you would actually go to in real life. This moment shouldn't really be rehearsed, and if it is, no one really shoot the production like that. When Nasir was on the street, that didn't feel like a casting call. When the skaters was grinding a ledge inside LA, it didn't feel like a campaign brief. These are their people, and that's what gives their content life. This may sound simple, but it holds truth. Most brands try to copy real life. Think about that for a moment. There's nothing to actually copy if you're actually interested in it and actually passionate about it. 18 East just documents this. They let their audience see the world as they experience it. This is the power of real moments. It can build trust faster than any paid ad ever could. Once you get that down pat, you can move on to the second step. You don't see big productions or like green screens built in the background or even overbuilt concepts on their content. In their early footage, they shot what was in front of them with one camera, natural light, and strategic direction. If you're trying to take this on to create content for your brand, this makes the scene work for you instead of you trying to control it. Every image or reel felt like you were walking into their world, not like they staged it for yours. And the last step is always feelings first. It's the heart of 18 East formula. They built emotion before anything else, whether if it was styling or product. You could have felt New York in that black and white photography shot with Nasir we showed earlier. The emotion of calmness in the lakeside scene. This is why their audience got plenty of engagement inside of their contents early on. It was because the images didn't just show products. They created an atmosphere that was tailor-made towards their DNA. They knew if their photos felt real, people would actually believe the story behind it. And that belief is what actually still builds brands that last to this very day. Every brand has that one instance or that one stretch where everything changes. When you wake up and see posts averaging more likes than usual. For 18 East, when the handmade gear concept stopped being a niche idea and started moving like a product with a man. These two posts, the pre-lockdown drop. This one wasn't a product push, but it was more of a stand. 18 East partnered with Saeed Ferguson's All Cap Studio on a tee, and they ran this campaign as a 72-hour pre-sale and pledged 100% of the profits to two community-based organizations, the Philadelphia Community Bail Fund and the COVID Bailout New York City. The caption opened up heavy saying, "The bread that built America is being choked by the hands that brought it here. They demand we shut up and know our place, but what we allow will continue." In June of 2020, when most brands were silent on dropping generic product photography, 18 East spoke on something they actually believed in. It made them lose a lot of supporters, but new ones were also gained as well. This design itself carried weight. As you could see, the graphic printed on the undyed cotton was drawn by Saeed Ferguson, one of the few black designers in streetwear and art space, leading his own studio in Philadelphia. It read, "What you allow will continue," and that phrase hit differently around this time. This was a drop that they weren't trying to be performative. It was more of accountability. Some followers didn't like it. They took a stand. They said 18 East was getting political, but Antonio still cut out all the noise and doubled down. As you see, it's still up there as well. He didn't even delete the post, and he didn't apologize or hide behind PR tone for it as well. Instead, he used the brand's platform to raise money for bail funds when the protests were filling streets across America, and it worked. The tee sold out within hours. This was big, and this was one of the first times this actually happened to the brand. Comments were filled with thank yous, donations, and people even asked if the tees would even be restocked soon. The post marked a turning point, not in follower count alone, but in trust, and you need that when you're developing your brand. Again, 18 East came out inside 2018, so this was 2 years after they first rolled out, and this was a big significant impact because this was the first time what 18 East really stood for. Their actions matched their values. Now if we move on to post 2, this was a couple of months after the pre-lockdown drop. A full look of Gorecki cargos, fleece vests, and hand-dyed shirt shot in real city lights was another big buzz that put them in front of more eyes. What made it viral inside was how accessible yet rare it felt. A fit that looked like downtown New York City, but it was built with the patience of handcraft. There's no specifications online, how fast it sold out, but I did some digging with GQ's 2020 feature on Antonio, and he basically began shipping orders from his basement after COVID hit. Another post is a simple photo, earth tones, big pockets, no hype caption, but these pants became the heartbeat of the brand every single restock since they had sold out instantly back then. These Gorecki cargo pants became a reoccurring bestseller, referenced by customers in later drops and tagged constantly in the comments. Their consistent returns built the brand's first cult following around utility and craft, which equaled their identity. That sharp shift in how they operated gave them credibility and demand when many brands were folding. These 2 posts was what made this brand actually take off and get buzz and traction on Instagram. Now fast forward to 2025. When we get to the current state, the numbers tell a different story. On paper, they're bigger than ever, over 82,000 followers, and that's a great accomplishment. It's hard to even get to that point inside of your brand stage. Over 1,200 posts and an average of 2,000 likes per photo, but the engagement rate is only 2.5%. For a brand disrespected, that's not a community talking, that's more of a crowd watching, and you can feel that when you scroll. The comments used to sound like real conversations, people tagging their friends, breaking down some of the pieces that they just released, arguing about drops. But now in their most recent comments that they post, from what I last seen, the most recent post posted 7 comments as I'm researching it today. The next one, the second recent one, got 11 comments. The third recent post, 4 comments, followed up by the 4th content, which got 8 comments, and one over a month ago barely hit 5 comments, meaning 5 people only engaged with the post. This isn't the same 18 East that used to flood their feed with conversation. Back then, you couldn't scroll a single drop without seeing people fighting over sizes or even talking about the products that they posted or just showing love to the team. Now, it's mostly still images with product shots, but the thing that they're missing was more of lifestyle content that catered towards their audience. And people are still posting, but like what I said, they're dropping emojis or just one-line compliments. The sense of community that made them special is fading. That energy where people showed up not just to buy, but to belong, is not seen in their more recent posts. 18 East's problem isn't followers, it's feedback. If page feels more like a gallery than a gathering, and the community feeling has disappeared, this is a trade-off most creative brands hit once they scale. It's chasing polishness, and the direct effect is losing the pulse of the community. And when brands lose touch with their community, engagement doesn't disappear overnight. It's a slow process that drains out of the room each and every time they show up. People stop showing up when they no longer feel seen, and what once felt like a conversation starts to feel more distant. The truth is, culture moves where connection lives, and when a brand stops speaking with its audience and starts speaking at them, the crowd crowd always certainly gets quiet. So I hope that they can get back to their core to get that community that they once had stronger than ever. That's what real branding is. Not followers, not polish, nor perfect lighting. It's keeping the conversation alive long as possible with or without the algorithm. If you guys enjoy the series, let me know what type of Instagram brands you would like me to dive deep into next. Alright, y'all. This is Lee from North Studios, and next time I'm out of here. Peace.